Okay, dear students, today we are again with a new video based on the important headings or the important points related to your poet Nissim Ezekiel. Okay, and I am very sure that all these headings are going to help you in your exams at the last moment when you don't have any idea what kind of question can be asked or what you have to answer. So at that moment all these headings will be very helpful for all of you, whether you are prepared or unfortunately you are not prepared. So let us have a look at the very first heading, because you all know that your this paper is related to your Indian Indo-English, that is your Indian English writing. Indian writing. So Nissim Ezekiel, okay, the very first point you can have an introduction of Nissim Ezekiel, introduction of your the poem that has been prescribed in your syllabus. And if there comes this kind of question, critical appreciation, critical analysis or critical summary of the prescribed poem of Soap of Professor. But I will suggest you that the very first heading related to Nissim Ezekiel, you must have this Nissim Ezekiel as an Indo-Anglian poet, right? You can write only Indo-Anglian poet, that will be sufficient. So again I am telling you, whether there is being asked a question related to Nissim Ezekiel as a poet, Nissim Ezekiel as a poet, or any question, poetic qualities of Nissim Ezekiel or this and that, even if there comes the question related to the poem, critical appreciation of Soap, critical appreciation of Professor, the very first heading is very important and it will be very helpful for you. So I suggest all of you that just don't ignore this heading, Nissim Ezekiel as an Indo-Anglian poet, right? And the next theme you can have, that is the next point, theme of his poems, right? Theme of Nissim Ezekiel's poem. Now what you will write here? If there comes the critical appreciation and you write this heading, theme of his poems, so now you will just delete these words, theme of his poem. Theme of his poem may be Soap or maybe Professor. So now you have to mention the theme of only that particular poem about which you are being asked in the question paper. But if there comes theme of his poems, then you will write the theme of both poems or theme of other poems also, theme of Soap, theme of Professor, right? So this heading is also very important, theme of his poems. Third one is, because he has remained an Indo-Anglian poet, so of course this heading is also very important, Indian poem. Nissim Ezekiel, if you have gone through the text of Soap, text of Professor, okay, those students who have read very well or who have even who have read very lightly, who have only had a look at the simply the language of Soap poem, the language of Professor, then you will come to know that how much Indianness is there, and you can never forget the theme of Soap. Means you can never imagine that a poet or a writer can take even such a theme that is related to Soap or related to a professor life, right? So here only I have given you the example of Soap and Professor, because all these only two poems have been prescribed in your syllabus. This is why that I am asking you to use this heading, his Indianness or Indian poem, and you can here give the example of both poems, that depends on your choice. Now the next heading may be his love for Savdesi, as there is an Indianness. So now his love for Savdesi means patriotism theme also, and he loved his country, and this Savdesiness, okay, this Savdesiness can be found very well in most of his poem, and there you can mention this also use of Indian English, as I have told you that Soap Okay, there is a use of Indian English. That is why that this poem is so interesting, that it is unforgettable only because of the use of Indian English. If you are aware that we always speak British English, but Indian English is very different from the British English or American English. Okay, so now in this kind of poem SOAP, we find that Nissim Ezekiel preferred to use Indian English, and that is showing his love for Savdesi. Then his openness in his poem, autobiographical elements. Okay, all these headings are very important, and again the simplicity. This heading is so important that it can help you in any kind of poem, in any kind of question, whether you are being asked about SOAP, about professor, about Nissim Ezekiel, because there is the main poetic quality of Nissim Ezekiel, that he always used a lot of simple language. Simplicity of language can be seen very well, can be observed in SOAP, okay, and in professor also. So this heading is also very important for you, simplicity of language. Then a representative. Nissim Ezekiel, he had been a representative of modern India, and you can have also another heading, a poet of modern era. For this only 10 points may be sufficient for you, but I would like to give you more and more points. So that depends on your choice, that which heading you like or not, because different heads have, I mean I can say that different students have different choices. So there is a proverb also that different heads have different minds. So in this way, why I am not going to give you the detailed of all these headings, because I don't want to be that you must all have the same answer. That is not necessary, and somewhere you will lose your originality. So this is why that I am not going to give you detail. Each and everything depends on only you, that what kind of answer you prefer to give. I can only guide you, I can only help you, giving all these important points, that at the last moment, if you don't have anything to do in the answer sheet, then these will help you. Okay. So next maybe his social outlook. Social issues, they have very well presented by Nissim Ezekiel in his most of his poems. So his social outlook, or another heading may be social issues presented in his poems. No doubt figurative language, and he has made a, that is the best use of figure of speech also, and especially we find similes and metaphors. Similes and metaphors, they are very interesting in his poems. So this is why that I have taken this heading, interesting similes and metaphors. Use of imagery. When you go through SOAP poem, you unconsciously make an image of a customer, of a shopkeeper in your mind. So and you unconsciously make even an image of a professor also. So there is a very good use of imagery, right, whether your poem is SOAP or professor. Now realistic poem, again I am giving you an example of your prescribed poem. SOAP is also a realistic poem, and even professor is also a realistic poem. They are not imaginative, they are not far from the reality. So this is why that Nissim Ezekiel, he is so well known, he is liked by all the readers, because in his poems we find what kind of theme, realistic theme. So this heading is also very important. Now the structure, okay, the structure of his poem. Now his choice of the appropriate words, all these headings may help you. His objectivity, though there are autobiographical elements, subjective note or personal note, but he is also very well talented, skilled in making the use of his objective things. Means the theme or the title or the concept are also very objective. And the last one, another one, that is lyrical quality of his poems. Okay, so all these are the important points for the exam, and just try to have minimum 10 points in your mind. Again I am telling you that minimum 3 headings or 4 headings, right? Minimum, that is only 3 headings will be sufficient. 3 headings on one page, and total will be only 10 or 12 headings, right? So Nissim Ezekiel and his poem Soap and Professor. This question will help you even in the critical appreciation of Soap and critical appreciation of Professor. 5-6 lines can help you very well even in the poem too, right?